Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you some films from one of my favorite companies, Kino Lorber, and they happen to be doing a sale. Now, Kino Lorber does a ton of sales, I think, during the year, but there happen to be at the end of their March into April sale, which ends on April 19th. So I thought I would pick a few films that I recommend that are in my collection that I think are great. Kino Lorber is an amazing company. I'm going to leave their website link in the description below. I also have a number of videos on the channel too talking about Kino Lorber, my entire Kino Lorber collection as an example. One of the newest additions in my collection is this movie from Milos Forman, Man on the Moon, with Jim Carrey, and I absolutely love this film, and I was so thrilled to see it get a Blu-ray release. And a lot of these releases have extra features on them, not all of them. But this one happens to have an extra feature. It also happens to have one of my favorite things, which is a slipcover. Not all the films have the slipcover, but sometimes if you get it early, you can pick one up, and this one happens to have it. But this also has an audio commentary by screenwriters Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski. This might be a story. Screenwriters Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski in conversation with Milos Forman. Spotlight on location, the making of Man on the Moon, deleted scenes, the REM music video, which is one of my favorite. I'm a big fan of REM also, but Man on the Moon is on here, and also a music video for The Great Beyond. But I just love this movie. It's one of my favorites, and this is Jim Carrey playing comedian Andy Kaufman, and I think he does a great impression or a great portrayal of Andy Kaufman, who was kind of an avant-garde comedian for many, many years, and probably for his whole career. There's tons of videos of him on YouTube, and I just really love his performance. There's a documentary, I think, I can't remember the name of it, with Jim Carrey talking about his transformation into Andy Kaufman, but I just really love this. I think it's a really well done film. Highly recommend it. Danny DeVito's in the movie, Courtney Love's in the movie, Paul Giamatti, I'm a huge fan of Paul Giamatti as well. But a really amazing film, and highly recommend it. And if you can get it, I think they still have copies with the slipcover. So if you can pick it up with a slipcover, again, highly recommend. But this is one of my favorites. The next one, if you are a fan of David Lynch, I think this is the only version released on Blu-ray. And I keep hoping that Criterion will do a release of this movie because they've released so many of the David Lynch films. And I'm a huge fan of David Lynch, just as a director, as a person, and this is Lost Highway, which is a very interesting, unique movie. And there's the back of that one. In this particular case, you can see that there's no extra features on this, but I believe, and please correct me in the comments below, that this is not necessarily authorized by Lynch, this particular release. There's no extra features on it. But when he does do a release for Criterion, there's a ton of extra features, right? So I'm hoping that at some point Lost Highway will get released. But this is the story of a successful jazz musician whose marriage is on the rocks, the man in black who threatens to expose him, the young mechanic with links to a powerful mobster, the mobster's mall who knows what she wants, and the people who can get it to her. These are the riders on the Lost Highway. So again, a very interesting, Lynch films are always a very interesting ride, and this one is no exception. So highly recommend it. I believe, and again, correct me in the comments below, this is the only copy on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber, and so Lost Highway is recommended. Another one of my favorite films, I know there's another version of this with a slipcover. I don't have the slipcover on this one, but this is Robert Altman's The Long Goodbye, and I really love this cover also, but there's another unique cover for this one, I believe, that was released, and I don't have that one, but there's the back of that with some extra features on it. I should mention also, and I've mentioned this before, many of these Kino Lorber, or most of the Kino Lorber releases come in this black label, and I really love being able to see all my Kino Lorber releases in my collection because of the black label. This has a Rip Van Marlow featurette with Robert Altman and Elliot Gould. Anytime I can hear Robert Altman talk about his movies and his movie-making process, I love it. I absolutely love it. American Cinematographer 1973 article with intro with animation. Radio spots, etc. So this is a great one. Highly recommend it. If you can get the new one with the very cool slipcover, that's also great. Next up is another police drama that I really like, and I don't think not enough people talk about this one, but I'm a huge fan of Roy Scheider, and this one I think is great. This is a John Frankenheimer film who I'm also a fan of, 52 Pickup. I think this one's pretty underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this one, and I really like it. No special features on this release, but this is also based on the exciting bestseller by Elmore Leonard, with a screenplay by Leonard and John Stepling, and top-notch direction from Frankenheimer. And again, I'm a huge fan of Frankenheimer. 52 Pickup evokes the chilling reminder that if you have a lot, you can lose a lot. Life is good for Los Angeles entrepreneur Harry Mitchell, played by Roy Scheider. And again, because I'm such a big Jaws fan and because I just absolutely enjoy anything Roy Scheider does, this is just an extra reason to like this movie. Just when he thinks he'll land a seat on the city council, Harry's life suddenly spins out of control when a trio of pornographers led by ruthless Alan Ramey shows up with a video of Harry in bed with his mistress, etc. So that's kind of how the story starts. And again, really, really amazing work here. If you can pick up this movie, 52 Pickup, you should pick it up. I've had a series of videos on Tarkovsky on the channel, and these are the versions of movies that you can't really find anywhere else, and especially on Blu-ray. But this one is Nostalgia. I won't talk too much about these movies because I've done some videos on that, and I will leave a link below to the playlist I think that I have for Tarkovsky, and you can watch those videos on these specific films, and also The Sacrifice. And I think, for me anyway, as a film fan, I'm hoping that Criterion will do releases of these movies because I think they're just amazing. This one happens to be a double 2-disc release. The first disc is a Blu-ray with an audio commentary, and the second disc has a directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, the documentary on the making of The Sacrifice. So this one has a DVD also. Great releases. Again, hoping for Criterion releases of some of these two films, but it's nice to have them. It's nice to have a Kino release on Blu-ray also. And speaking of police dramas, one of my favorite police dramas, I recently saw an interview with Walter Matthau, which happened to be on the Criterion channel, which I really enjoyed. Many times on the Criterion channel, you'll find unique interviews, and this one happened to be a Dick Cavett interview that I thought was very fascinating, very candid conversation between Walter Matthau and Dick Cavett, and he didn't talk about this movie in particular, but this is one of my favorite police dramas, The Laughing Policeman, and I just love this cover also, really, really great cover. Some extra features on the back of this one too. This one has an audio commentary by Lee Pfeiffer, publisher of Cinema Retro magazine, interviews with actor Paul Koslow, and an animated image montage. But a great police drama with Walter Matthau. And again, I would watch anything with Walter Matthau, but in particular, it's nice to see him play a policeman. And so this is a great movie if you get a chance to pick it up. And one of my absolute favorite films from the 1970s. And again, let me know if you have a favorite 70s movie, because a few of these, quite a few of these are from the 70s. And as you know, probably from watching the channel, I'm such a big fan of 70s films. This is one of my top 10 movies from the 70s, and this happens to be from 1974, The Taking of Pelham 123. And there was a remake of this one also, but there's the back of that one. This is also Robert Shaw and Walter Matthau and many, many others. Walter Matthau, Robert Shaw, Martin Balsam, and Hector Elizondo. This is an amazing police drama. Robert Shaw, an incredible villain in this movie, where they basically take over a New York subway train. The special features on this one too, there's an interview with Hector Elizondo, there's an interview with composer David Shire. I love the theme to this movie. The theme is really, really good. Interview with editor Jerry Greenberg, an audio commentary by actor-filmmaker Pat Healy. Trailers from Hell, an animated montage of stills and posters. But this is from 1974, one of my favorite movies from the 70s. Let me know in the comments below, too, if you'd like to see me do a favorite movies of the 70s. I've been thinking about doing that for a while, but this one would certainly be in my top 10 for sure, The Taking of Pelham 123. And those are just some of the recommendations I have for the current Kino Lorber sale. Again, I love Kino Lorber. Amazing, amazing company. I'm so happy that they keep coming out with new releases. Their website is very, very good for ordering. I think the ordering process is very simple. They ship well, at least in the US. And so if you can participate in a sale, that would be great. I mean, some of the prices start as low, I think, as $4.99. So many of these you can get on sale. They also have a while supplies last sale, which is usually going most of the time. But every time I go on their website, I seem to find a sale. So if you can participate and pick up some physical media while you can, that's always a good thing. And as you know, probably from watching the channel, I love picking up films when they're on sale, and this is one place that I go often to see. Thanks so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Again, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I really do appreciate it. Leave me a comment below. Leave me a question below. I again, sincerely appreciate all the support. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this video, click on like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. That would be great. Lots of amazing things coming up in 2022. I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.